Hi, Shemai, Asetachi, Kroisoi, Chris, Dowie, what is cracking, ladies, gents, boys, girls, anyone who is anyone. Today we are talking about fighting fantasies, Assassins of Allansia, and spoiler alert, the book is actually pretty good. Now, after reading The Port of Peril, I sort of went into this because it is another Ian Livingstone book, and I went into this feeling a little bit uneasy. There was a lot of apprehension, a little bit of anxiety. Is this book going to be a massive letdown? And, well, no, it's actually, like I said, pretty good. Now, this bad boy was published back in 2019 by Scholastic, and as a result it has that classic Scholastic cover where it is very minimalistic. It's not very impressive. It's like a nice goldy, brassy, bronze colour kind of thing, a metallic colour with an assassin on the front. So we've just described the cover. What's it say on the back? And on the back it says, part story, part game. You are the hero. Are you tough enough to survive attacks by Allansia's most dangerous and deadly assassins? After accepting a challenge to survive on Snake Island, a nightmare unfolds when a bounty is placed on your head. Beware the ruthless assassins hell-bent on hunting you down. But who are they? What are they? Trust no one. May your stamina never fail. And this is pretty much a great summary of the book. You know, if I had to describe it like I described it in the old Goodreads review, it turns into John Wick. You're basically just trying to survive a bunch of assassinations. At the start of the book, you're just trying to survive, you're trying to find food, and then you go back home and then everyone's just trying to kill you. It is a really good book. Like, maybe it goes on for a bit too long. That would be my main gripe. There's like, is it a spoiler? I don't know. There's 13 assassins in total, and it just goes on forever. They could have easily put it maybe 7. Spent more time on the island. 7 assassins. And Bob's your uncle. You've got some great gameplay. But the thing that really made it great gameplay for me is that it felt quite reminiscent to City of Thieves, in the sense that the first part of the game, you're really not doing a lot. You're just trying to find food. And finding the food might be going fishing for a few hours or finding berries. I think, yeah, when I opened the book, I went fishing for a few hours. Caught 1 fish, that gave me like 1 stamina. Went back, found some berries. Decided to eat them because the book really doesn't give you much context about berries. And then they're poisonous. So yeah, that was really fun. So then I decided to go back and just, did it differently. And that's what I liked about the book. The first part really wasn't that, it wasn't as high octane maybe as other books. You weren't killing stuff left, right and centre. You're just trying to survive. And you go back to your house and so on and so forth. Eventually the captain that brought you over to the island comes over. He can meet a horrible end, but it's fun. And then you're introduced. You go back home and you're introduced to the main bulk of the story, which is honestly pretty good. Like I said, it felt inspired by John Wick. In this case, you are the John Wick trying to survive all these assassins. And I'm not sure if that is the film. I've watched it, but only once. So yeah, it's just a fantastic book. That's basically the story. The artwork in this is it's Scholastic, so it's not particularly amazing. It does the job. It's sort of have you ever read Beast Quest? Now I remember Beast Quest, the art was kind of like underwhelming. And when I was little, well, when I was younger, I just thought these were the same books. It's sort of like that computer generated art style. It's not really that impressive. I always say it, the old hand-drawn illustrations would be like 1,000 times better. The artwork, mediocre. But the whole story is pretty good. The characters, the assassins are really good. When you actually bump into them, there's one assassin. And the whole engagement is really tense because you're not entirely sure if she is an assassin, but you got your suspicions. And then the great reveal is, lo and behold, they are an assassin. And you get to fight them. It's just really cool. It is really, really cool. The book is really good. It's not necessarily City of Thieves quality. City of Thieves is my favourite book. By the way, if you are watching this video and you don't watch anything else, City of Thieves is my favourite book. This book, not quite up there. But out of the Scholastic books, reading The Gates of Death, Port of Peril, and this will be my second choice. Gates of Death being my first, Port of Peril gonna be dead last. you know, next week's book, Storm of Crystal, Crystal of Storm, something like that. The port apparel is going to be below that because I just think the book is really bad. But back onto Assassins of Allansia. This book is genuinely really good. You have an interesting setting. It's mostly just you trying to find out why these guys are after you, and you just go from point A to point B to point B to point C, so on and so forth. You encounter like a merchant. He's pretty cool. He's like, yeah, I know your face is on these wanted posters. By the way, I think it's either 1,000 gold or 10,000 gold. I can't remember. It's one followed by a series of zeros. There's just a fair bounty on your head, you know. You sell your boat for 20 gold, so that amount of gold is enough to sort of last you a lifetime. But you walk into the shop, the guy's like, oh yeah, I see that, but I'm a good guy, so you're safe. And then I think he gives you... oh man, I can't even remember. No, this guy done. Basically, you have a lot of friendly encounters who know that you are wanted, and they just sort of help you out along the way. These encounters are nice. It's very reminiscent to maybe like the taverns from Skyrim, where you'd go in and talk to the guy, and then they'd give you some information and walk out. Obviously, if you played Skyrim, you're going to know that a lot of taverns just have a bunch of NPCs, don't really say anything interesting, but this book, you know, the NPCs do say stuff interesting. There's a guy that tells you about the future NPC that's going to attack you, the assassin, and it's all good, it's all nice. The assassins themselves all have unique characteristics. One is like this, an Amazonian woman. The other one's like this dark elf priestess. You know, it's all really cool. They're all interesting characters themselves. Like I said, you know, if they cut down from 13 maybe to 7, they could put a little bit more character into these assassins. You can sit down with them, maybe in their dying breaths, and they'll tell you a bit about why they're trying to assassinate you, other than, oh, I'm an assassin, and then they just die. You know, I think, you know, the book is good, but that could have made it a bit better. I'm not saying make it like a 450 reference book, because this book is 400 references. I don't want it to be like a massive book, but like, yeah, they could have made the assassins a bit more interesting, aside from them looking cool. All in all, guys, this book's just really good. There is a nice little twist at the end. It pays homage. Is it paying homage? Basically, what's revealed to you is that this is essentially a prequel to Death Trap Dungeon. And Throm from Death Trap Dungeon, I do believe it is Death Trap Dungeon, he sort of saves your life. Even in like one of the final bits of artwork, there's the assassin, the ninja character, that I think is the one you bump into in Death Trap Dungeon to get one of the final gems. It's just, it comes together fantastically. And now this is what makes the book stand out to me, is the fact that this is done respectfully. It's not done in a way it's like, oh, can this good book carry this one? It's done in a genuine sense that it's just, it's carefully planned out. It felt as if a lot of effort went into planning this out. And you know, when Throm saves your life, you're like, wow. It's like, you know, the ending scene after the credits in any Marvel film these days, and it's always something like really cool. It's a big reveal. It's sort of like that. It's like mind blowing. You're like, wow, cool. It's Throm, and then the Throm is like, yeah, bro, they killed my brother. I'm gonna get revenge. It's really, really cool. I enjoyed this so much. And I enjoyed that it's sort of like a prequel to Death Trap Dungeon. If it is a prequel, I don't know. In all honesty, I don't know. I think with the passing of time, a lot of details can get lost in translation, and I have to go back and read Death Trap Dungeon. And do I want to? Not really. But yeah, it's a really nice little homage. And all in all, I think the book is just really good. But I think I'm gonna have to round it off with that, guys. The book is really good. The character's really good. Is it difficult? Yeah, this one felt a bit difficult, but not in a bad way. It's done in an interesting way. So yeah, if you can get a hold of this book, it's likely going to be sold in like booksellers, because it's not too old. 2019, like I said, pretty modern, pretty new. It's good. I'd recommend it. It's going to look good on your shelf, look on your bookcase, whatever. It's a good book. It's a good book, and I think you'll enjoy it. But without further ado, can I find next week's book anywhere in my pile? So yeah, next week's book, it's going to be Crystal of Storms by Rihanna Pratchett, and it looks the artwork is kind of like it's not my cup of tea, but the book sounds good, it looks good, and yeah, I'm looking forward to reading it. Was it in my pile? No, I put it back in my bookcase for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, that's next week's book. It's gonna go out next Thursday. Hopefully you're gonna be here to watch, here to listen. I don't know. But without further ado, take care, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you have a lovely week. Ta-ra and goodbye.